Turning to our top story, and these lockout laws, the parliamentary inquiry in New South Wales finding that they should be scrapped, recommending they be scrapped in the CBD, remain in King's Cross, though, in an effort to strengthen the city's nighttime economy. Earlier this hour, of course, we heard from St Vincent's Hospital concerned by the findings. What about the tourism sector? Joining me now is Tourism and Transport Forum Australia CEO Margy Osmond for more. Thanks very much for your time. We heard from the hospital a short time ago the violence that this has actually addressed in the past few years. 52.8% the fall in the number of assaults, so nearly 2,000 assaults that didn't happen over the past 5 years. What's your response to that?
Well, look, I think there was obviously a need when the laws were first brought in, but I do think Sydney's grown up quite a bit in the last few years, and both the social fabric and the environments themselves have changed quite a bit, and I think are considerably more responsible. But there's another issue here. Effectively, we've looked like we've been closed for business and that we weren't a particularly fun place to visit. And there wasn't much happening at night, and that was word that was circulating a little bit too widely, really, amongst potential tourists. So, well managed and appropriately managed, we think this is absolutely the right decision.
What's changed, though, when you say Sydney's grown up in the last 5 years? I mean, 2014 is not very long ago. What else would be different about what would be in place if you unwind these laws? And as I said, as a result, 52.8%, the fall in violent incidents last time, that we wouldn't see a huge spike in these.
Oh, look, I think, you've only got to look at the change and the diversity now in terms of offering. A lot of opportunity has actually moved out to the CBD, so you're dispersing people further around areas, so the crowds are going to be less even when the CBD laws are hopefully lifted. I mean, I do think there are some other parts of the puzzle that have to be addressed, though, and those mainly relate to transport. And there are recommendations in the report around this as well. You do have to provide a 24-hour transport option, particularly on Friday and Saturday nights, as they now do in Melbourne and in London, so that people can get home and get away from wherever they might be having a good time. And also the people that are going to work in those areas for those extended hours have got the capacity to get home easily and safely. So that's another part of the maturation process. But, Sydney is a global city. We have to accept that. And for us to be the vibrant city we could and should be, we do need more access in the evening of things to do. And my great hope is that this relaxation of the lockout laws in the CBD will be a shot in the arm for the music industry as well.
What happens if we do see the laws relaxed and in certain areas a big spike in violent incidents? What then?
Well, that's why governments have the levers and controls. I mean, clearly the review has come to the conclusion that there are sufficient rules and regulations and capacity in play. They've put in place this self-reporting mechanism too for businesses in this space. I mean, I think we've got to give it a go. There's been enough public comment and enough industry comment that suggests it's a really important move to relax these laws. Fully understand that perhaps a bit more work needs to happen in King's Cross, but we do need to open up the city again and say, hey, we're open for business. This is a great place to visit. Come and experience the fabulous nightlife here in Sydney. And if there is a problem, well, that's what governments are there to make decisions around.
The cessation of service 3 a.m, there's an old saying, I guess you could tailor it to this, that nothing good happens after 3 a.m. So you're in a bar at 3 a.m. and you get told you can stop drinking, or you get told you can have as much as you want and keep having shots. Are people at that time at a bar generally drinking to excess, do you think? Is that a fair enough generalisation?
Look, I don't think anybody's suggesting that the lockout laws be relaxed because we'd like there to be excessive drinking at all hours of the night and day. I think what we are saying, though, is that the lockout laws have been a very blunt instrument to deal with an issue and a problem, and they've affected a whole range of other subsidiary industries like the music industry. So I think it's wise of government, and I think they deserve to be applauded, to be, considering that times might have changed and industry might have changed. So this is the moment to have a look-see and see whether this is what both the community and the industry want. And if it's not successful, well, government knows what it can do in terms of reinstituting lockout laws.
Indeed. I suppose we'll only know if and when the evidence starts coming out. Margy Osmond, thanks for your time today.
My pleasure, Tom.